Ladies and gentlemen, just about 5 more days, Donald Trump will be your president. And in the meantime, we're going through Senate confirmation hearings for his incoming administration. And boy, am I excited. But did you think it would be this easy? Well, maybe not, but it looks like it kind of is. What I mean is, we got this groundbreaking report from James O'Keefe's O'Keefe Media Group. Former Hillary Clinton staffer turned FBI spy hunter and DOD senior advisor claims to be plotting with retired generals to protect America from Trump. Well, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago, if this story broke, and many stories like it did, where we learned that deep state individuals were conspiring against this government. I mean, it's kind of scary, right? Trump was impeached several times. So during Trump's administration, with this stuff going on, kind of worrying. It felt like we were at war and there was this machine we could not stop. The only thing now is, this guy got fired. James O'Keefe has proven it. And so it looks like there are little roach remnants scurrying about the deep state headquarters, still trying to play this game of going to war with Donald Trump, despite the fact he won a popular mandate. Ladies and gentlemen, the deep state has been routed. They're going to fall in line. There's going to be terminations. Ratcliffe is coming in to clean up the DEI garbage. Hegseth is coming in to clean up the DEI garbage, and there is nothing they can do to stop it. So, in the meantime, as of course, they're not going to stop here. And many people I feel have PTSD because with all this drone news and stuff like that, there are people who are concerned that something might happen to Donald Trump before he gets in his office. I don't think so, but I certainly hope he is taking his security seriously, and I know he is. And I hope everyone around him, they're doing the same, because we need Donald Trump to do his job. We got J.D. Vance waiting in the wings. He seems pretty great. We got Kash Patel. We got Hegseth. We got Pam Bondi. We got RFK Jr. It's a great eclectic bunch that I think is going to do a lot to fix this country in oh so many ways. For the longest time, man, we were sick, literally and politically. And it's pretty wild that when you look at the things RFK Jr. talks about, how our food is poisoning us and how they're big pharmaceuticals that are just pumping out these medications and making all this money, and we just churned along. I feel like this country got lazy and complacent and just said, so what? Like, I'll get mine. Finally, things started to break apart. And along comes a Donald Trump. You get an Occupy Wall Street and a Tea Party movement. And then Donald Trump steps up and says, we're going to make America great again. And the machine goes nuts to the point where, now I don't know how true this guy's story is, that he's working with retired generals to protect America from Trump. But this is the breaking point. People were looking at this machine state that was lying, cheating, and stealing. And they said enough. Shout out to Daniel Negreanu. We had him on yesterday. For those that don't know who he is one of the best poker players in the world. Now, he's going to be a bit more humble. He's not going to go near, but some people think he's the best. Arguably, there's a few others that may more easily be called the best, but he's certainly one of the best. And he said he was embarrassed to admit he believed the very fine people hoax for a long time. He's like, I saw the clips. Trump said these Nazis are very fine people. And then finally, someone put a phone down and said, watch, press play. And then he watched and went, holy crap. Trump literally said, I'm not talking about Nazis. Like, he literally said that. You see, for the longest time, the deep state machine was playing these games to protect America, and they were lying. And more people woke up and said, yo, enough. So, on to this story. What have we here with the post-millennial covering the O'Keefe Media expose? What I see here now, most of these people have panicked and they've fled. They've broken ranks. Many of them have talked about how they're going to flee the country because they fear prosecution for their crimes. Isn't that crazy? And then you have this guy who has now lost his job because he goes on a date and he's like, look, I'm working with some retired generals in the Joint Chiefs of Staff to protect this country from Donald Trump. And then the Joint Chiefs were like, he doesn't work here anymore. And James straight up is like, did you fire him? Yeah. You can't play this game anymore, dude. Donald Trump won. The mandate won. He is entering office. Let's go. Let's read this story, my friends. Before we do, head over to head over to boonieshq.com and pick up the new skateboard, the 28th Amendment. My friends, chickens being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep, bear, and breed chickens shall not be infringed. So we sold a bunch of these, and I know it's maybe not the greatest graphic, whatever. You know, we've got the right to arm bears right behind me. It's fun. Everyone loves that one. But I love this doodle of this chicken. It is the greatest chicken doodle I've ever seen. And what we've heard from everybody, most people who've bought them, they're like, I want to hang it up near my chicken coop, the 28th Amendment. And then people want T-shirts, so we're going to try and get T-shirts made. But yeah, we have fun. We have fun here, huh? Yeah, you could go to timcast.com, become a member if you want to support our work directly. Hey, shout out. We really do need memberships because every month, memberships are static. It doesn't change. And we know, hey, this much money is coming in for us to run operations, for booking guests, for, what we can do in terms of, like, we're going to the inauguration. Guys, for us to be at the inauguration in D.C. for a week, we have to rent studio space, hotels. Even though we're only like an hour out, they're shutting everything down, which means we have to stay in the city. It's expensive stuff. When you're a member, we know every month that there is a general amount of money that we have coming in from our members that allows us to budget effectively. And with like ad rates, they fluctuate wildly. January is a miserable month. Let me just say this. We only exist in January because of you guys. Ad rates are in the gutter. Marketing budgets haven't been set. And so nobody buys, and then revenue drops substantially. So usually you got to like mass produce content, pick everything up, work twice as hard. But when we have members, we'll work twice as hard still, make something great for you guys, but it makes it possible. So timcast.com, click join us. Let's read the story from the Post-Millennial. A new investigative report from James O'Keefe Media Group, says spy hunter Jamie Menina denigrating President-elect Donald Trump, as well as incoming Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth over the course of a new video found him doing it. Over the course of several fake dates with an OMG undercover journalist, he reveals the nature of his work in the Pentagon and his background in government, going back to his work for Hillary Clinton when she was Secretary of State. He believes that Trump will attempt to remain in office past the end of his term in the White House. Quote, I predict Trump will probably entertain publicly the idea of staying in office, changing the law to stay in office, which he's not allowed to do by the Constitution, but he'll probably suggest it, and there'll probably be an effort to try. This, Menina believes, is in service to Trump's desire not to go to jail. Well, let's take a look at this clip here.
I work at this top consulting firm, and
and that consulting firm is Booz Allen Hamilton, by the way.
Client is the Pentagon, so I'm embedded in the Pentagon. I work in the Joint Staff, which is the top military command. When she lost, I went into the intelligence community and I became an FBI special agent. So I became a spy hunter. So I was a counterintelligence agent, special agent at the FBI.
Yeah, I just gotta pause. I don't get it. Like, you're a spy hunter, you work in counter intel, and you just go and spill the beans on some date. Friends, you know, it is rough work here in the media industry because, like I've been talking about it for quite a bit. We do contract negotiations. Ad sales is a big thing we're working on right now. And I have talked to low-level sales staff who will say to me outright, we have a non-disclosure agreement with this company, so I can't discuss anything related to that. And then we go, oh. Or often they don't even mention that because like NDAs are under NDAs themselves sometimes. They might just say, well, I can't go into any detail on any of the companies we work with because we do have NDAs. We take them seriously, so I can't describe any of these other deals. But what we can do, here's a guy who's a spy hunter advising the Joint Chiefs as a contractor for Booz Allen Hamilton, sitting down for probably what? fried calamari, and then being like, let me just tell you literally everything about what I do and all of the top secret stuff that I'm working on. And it's just like, what is up with these guys? You know what I got to do? I got to get some like busty young woman to do contract negotiations for me. It's like in that show Landman, they have that young female lawyer, like, we need a closer. Yeah, maybe you just need some like attractive woman to go in there like, can't you just like give me a better deal? And the guy's going to be like, oh, okay. And then we're going to get like 3 points on top. Jeez, I keep, guys, there's just a lot of stupid guys out there, I tell you what.
What's your like overall assessment of Trump?
He's a sociopathic narcissist who is only interested in advancing his name, his wealth, and his fame.
I don't believe that for 2 seconds.
Is there anything you can do
1 second. I don't believe it for 2 seconds.
to like protect American people from the stuff that he might try to do?
I'm in conversation with a couple of retired generals to try to explore what we can do.
Who were
Interesting.
the retired generals that you were going to talk to?
They're like 1, 2, or 3-star generals and admirals.
Come on, dude. Like some young woman's like, tell me about the high-ranking officials in the Pentagon that you're secretly working with to obstruct the incoming president's administration. And he's like, well, you know, like, let me tell you all about it. I just can't believe
You
this.
probably know maybe 4 stars. So I also have a big day tomorrow. Probably the biggest day of all. So we have this huge meeting with military leaders in a very secure room called the Tank.
Ooh.
So we have a tank meeting with like all of the top leaders in the United States military.
Even that is compromising security. Publicly telling someone, tomorrow we are going to have a confidential meeting in this location with these people. Holy crap.
Tomorrow on my topic that I prepared.
So it went well.
I think it went well. It's very sensitive information. We're gonna have to keep it between us. Nice.
Okay, so to be fair, we played a little bit on the members only show the other night when we had Daniel Negreanu on, and he was saying, is this guy just like talking big game to get laid? And I'm like, that's the thing. Yes, he is. But does it mean he's lying? It could be that he's hamming it up and he's just not really that important. But I'll say this. At any rate, this guy should be criminally investigated. Because if it is, I mean, I hope Kash Patel, he's got 5 days. I hope Kash Patel, one of his first priorities is probably not going to be some random former contractor or something, but I hope he takes it seriously and says, if you are publicly going about expressing your intent to use the powers of government internally and sensitive or classified information to obstruct the incoming president, that is seditious. We take that seriously. We don't play games. Come on. You want to put Enrique Tarrio in prison for 20 years? This guy should at the very least be investigated. I'll tell you my opinion. I don't think he's just hamming it up for the ladies. I think he is hamming it up for the ladies, but I think there is a modicum of truth to what he is saying. Now, these guys in these meetings probably aren't sitting there being like, how can we destroy Donald Trump? Yeah. That, I think, has happened. Like, you know, Obama met with Yates and Comey or whatever that meeting was all those years ago, and they're probably saying things like, we want to do things that make it hard for Trump to protect our agenda. In this instance, I think these guys probably are behind the scenes saying things like, we do have concerns Donald Trump might do X, Y, or Z. We want Ukraine to win. Trump is going to negotiate poorly. What can we do to mitigate? And they're basically saying, and again, this is my opinion and assumption, these guys behind the scenes are likely working in some way to mitigate what they view as bad about the Trump administration, what Trump might do. But let me put it this way. That's me. Like, my point is this. They're not sitting there saying, we will destroy Donald Trump. They're saying, well, Trump is dangerous and we need to protect the American people, which is literally the same thing phrased in different ways. Now, James O'Keefe put out this video. This is absolutely hilarious, where homie got fired.
He is currently at Booz Allen. He is not at the Joint Staff.
Now, Holstead went on to confirm that Menina indeed was an advisor to the Joint Chiefs of Staff at the Pentagon, was meaning a day or two ago.
Did he ever work in the Joint Staff?
Yes, he did.
When questioned if Menina had been terminated due to OMG's undercover investigation, Holstead responded, yeah, that's a standard practice with contractors, referring to Menina contracting with Booz Allen Hamilton.
And because of this investigation, was he terminated, I'm assuming?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
the standard practice with contractors. This is obviously someone speaking out of turn and falsely in public. Obviously you don't, first of all, lie, and then also, leave in further falsehoods, and so.
This termination comes just on the heels of our video report you saw today of Menina talking that he was working with retired generals about efforts regarding Trump after Trump's inauguration this coming weekend. As always, if you're a source inside the government, we look to hear from you. If you know fraud, waste, or abuse.
James O'Keefe and his crew over at OMG and the work he's done in the past, doing the Lord's work, man. Let me explain, okay? This guy got fired. So let's navigate the word salad garbage used by Deep State and Intel to trick you so you do not understand what is going on. There's something I like to talk about when it comes to language, assumptive reasoning. And this is when manipulators say things that you would assume mean one thing, but in fact mean something totally different. So, for example, the example I give is that I say something like, ladies and gentlemen, I want to buy each and every one of you a steak dinner. So if you work hard and everybody puts in overtime, we are going to get the best steak, the best filet mignon. Everyone's going to have it medium rare, chef's kiss. We're going to get truffle mashed potatoes, but you got to put in the hours. So if everybody meets their hours, this dinner is going to happen. Sounds really good, right? Okay. Then come Thursday, I say, ladies and gentlemen, we got dinner on Friday. We got dinner on Friday. And everybody claps and cheers. Now, what's the assumption being made? People are assuming he said he was going to get his filet mignon with truffle mashed potatoes for dinner. A few days later, he says, we did it. We're going to have dinner. Friday comes and I order pizza. And everyone goes, whoa, I thought we were going to have steak. Oh, whoa, I never said we got the steak dinner. See, the point is you lead someone to believe something. So here's how it works with the DOD and what they're saying. They don't hire people directly. They hire contractors. So you'll say something like, is this guy who's claiming he's conspiring against the government of the United States and the American people, is he working for you? No, he doesn't. Really? He's not working for you? No. He works for a different company. Was he fired? Yes, we fired him. Whoa. How do you fire a guy who doesn't work for you? See, here's the dirty game they play. He works for a company. The company is contracted. So the guy is sent and then they fire him. You see how it works? This is the manipulative language used by spies to trick people. So when a journalist asks, like James did, but susses it out, they say, he actually doesn't work with the Joint Chiefs. Okay, does he in any way sit in the room and talk to you about things in exchange for money? No, he doesn't. Really? Then who collects the money? His company does, and they pay him. So, okay, let's try this again. Does this man talk with you in any way so that in any other way, anything related to him might receive an exchange of value? Yes. So he works for you as a contractor. You terminated his contract. It's clever manipulation so they can justify this. When you go before Congress or whatever, and you are testifying under oath, it's all true. No, I have never worked for the Joint Chiefs. I've never worked in the State Department and in the Department of Defense. And then they go, who do you work for? I work for a security contractor. That's the game they play. You work for one company who's contracted by the DOD so they can claim you don't work together. We're not buying it. The reality is, now to be fair, they said he was lying, but the problem is, what is he lying about? Here's my bet. The deep state still exists. The remnants, let's call it the first order, right? So you have these powerful individuals in government obstructing Donald Trump, putting him at risk, his life at risk, trying to impeach him, literally impeaching him, trying to block him from winning re-election. But then he wins again. You want to know why? I was actually surprised to learn this last night that Timcast IRL crushes Jimmy Kimmel in the key demo ratings. I didn't realize we were twice as big as that guy. I kind of just complain on the internet. I didn't realize Timcast IRL was literally so big. But it's crazy to me because I used to look at these shows getting tens of millions of views. That's not the case anymore. Jimmy Kimmel gets 220,000 in the key demo. That's it. I mean, like a video like this might do more than that in the key demo. But, it is what it is, right? So ultimately, what we're seeing now is the narrative machine has broken. Their ability to lie, to control the narrative and make you hate Donald Trump has fractured. The fact that someone slid a phone to Daniel Negreanu and pressed play, and he saw that Trump never called Nazis fine people, made him, a rather liberal guy, say, wow, they're lying to me. And indeed, they have been. And this is just one of the ways they do it. Now, many of these people, as we heard before, because McCabe, I think he was on CNN, said, Andy McCabe, that a lot of these guys in the FBI are talking about fleeing the country. Why would they flee the country unless they did something wrong? Right? I mean, that's the narrative Democrats pushed for so long as the intelligence agencies went after Donald Trump, his lawyers, the people who worked in his administration. They said, well, it's because they broke the law. These people live in a crackpot delusional reality where when we then say we want accountability against the people who did this, Democrats go, he's going after his political opponents. Okay, kind of like you are right now. Yeah. So, my friends, today we will have another nomination hearing. I believe Pam Bondi is live now, in fact, and I look forward to seeing them succeed. These hearings are grandstanding garbage. That's why I'm not opening with it, for today. I don't know, maybe people care more about that, but it's like Elizabeth Warren and Tim Kaine, all they're doing is trying to get clips for the internet so they can raise money. So, whatever. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, shout out to James O'Keefe and the work he's doing because the remnants of the deep state, they're still trying. And I hope Trump gets in 5 days and cleans this mess up. Smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know, become a member over at timcast.com. Thank you for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next segment.